This is the Cholo Guy Podcast. Have you ever felt like you have nothing? You felt like you can't do something because you don't have the money. Those times that you have to skip a dinner invitation because you knew it's KKB or kanya-kanyang bayad. Or in other words, you have to split the cost. Or your relatives are asking you if you can join the Asian trip that you guys have been planning and have been talking about for so long. But then you can't because you don't have any. You can't afford to propose to your girlfriend because you don't even have a budget to buy an engagement ring. Hi everyone, this is Cholo Guy and welcome to episode number 6 of the podcast. No, I am not trying to open a lending company nor trying to offer you cash. I think everyone had this realization when the COVID 19 started. We all realized that having an amount, a large amount, saved can be a breather when such a pandemic was so suffocating. Diba, it was a survival game for everyone. Let us now talk about better governance. I know other countries faced the pandemic differently, but for us, where we could only depend on ourselves, to have a budget or saved an amount of money for the unforeseen ganaps in the world, it is a must to have a saving. Others would say, live your life today, stop worrying about the future. Live generously, live life to the fullest. You only live once, so bilhin mo na yung bagong iPhone na yan. To hell with savings. I used to think that way. But I realized some things as I grew up. First, live to the fullest. But how can you live fully when you actually have nothing? If you don't have enough? Can you truly say that you are happy and enjoy life if you keep on depending on others when life is tough? Not worrying about the future to me does not include finance. You don't have to worry about what others would think about you, how others would feel about you. Yan, pasok yan sa line because you can't control it. Pero finance is a different story. Money can be controlled and you have the power to do it. Growing in a Filipino Chinese family and community, I have learned a lot about money, including how to spend it, how to save it, and how to make it grow. And as I become more of an independent minded individual, I have learned that money can be a tool to secure your life and a blessing to more people. That is why we are here on earth. Not for ourselves, but for the entire human race. For others, in other words. Today, let us talk about so many things, but right now, let me start with the dangers. Yes, because it is delicado, not saving money. The 5 dangers of not saving money. First, resort to debt. If you don't have savings, when unplanned things come your way, you will have to borrow or loan money from someone or a business institute. Okay, maybe you can also use a credit card, but remember these things will minimize your actual cash flow. It will weaken your daily budget. Loans or credit cards also have interest rates, and you have a lot of payments going on. Then you will, most likely, be swimming in utang. Second, afraid of major life events. Yung totoo, bakit wala ka pang jowa? Or why are you not marrying your girlfriend? Is it because you are not ready for the commitment? Or maybe you don't have the budget to commit? Most of the relationships stay stagnant because they don't have enough cash to finally settle down. Let us try a different example. How old are you? And why are you still sharing the same roof as with your parents? Is it because you love them so much? You're too clingy. Or maybe it is because you can't afford to buy a place of your own. Third, LRT. No, not the train. This stands for lack of risk tolerance. Our current situation, which is the pandemic, surely made us realize that risk is not something that you can easily evade. You can't dodge it all the time. Ask yourself, were you able to tolerate the financial crisis caused by COVID 19? Other simple examples are, minsan, you can't even take the risk of doing business with your friends because you don't have an amount with you at all. Or para sa mga millennials or the new generation of people, it would be risky doing investments online or via the stock market because you have zero in your bank account. Fourth, no peace of mind and stressful life. When you don't have any saved amount under your name, knowing that everything in this world is uncertain, I think it is not a wonder that you would worry. All around the globe, not having savings causes stress. Survey about stress in the US according to CNBC, 44% is about money, not having enough savings. 25% is about relationships. 18% is about their jobs. But in the Philippines, it is different. Guys, ang crazy ng results ng survey here. This is from CNN Philippines. 23%, these are the stress caused by their boss or management at work. 15%, well, I can say that this is true. Traffic. 14.5, it is not having enough savings. And last but not the least, you will have to work forever. I have a friend who is a financial advisor, and she once asked me, "When do you plan on retiring?" I honestly never had an answer to this. I grew up in a mini grocery like store and I would help my auntie manage the business. And my abuelo or lolo would be there doing his thing, his own business. Remembering those days, I always thought that when we age, we still need to be active. And by that, I mean working on something, like a store in my case. But during those times, saving was never actually taught to me by my family. I mean, alam ko ang mag-save, but I never really saved as a lifestyle. When I was young, the store was earning well that anything we needed, even if it was a light emergency, the store could actually pay for it. I think the only time that we had a hard time was when we needed a new house. That the store can't afford to buy right away. When I thought of my friend's question again, I realized more than actually being active, whether it is your passion or a form of lifestyle, I should always remember the possibility that I may not be able to work anymore. And what am I doing right now to prepare myself, knock on the wood, when that happens? Not having savings will make you trabajo forever. So yes, my forever. The list of dangers of not having savings can go on forever, but those are just the top 5 things that I think are very important. With all the changes happening in society, it is obvious that we can't just be dependent on the money that we earn from our jobs and not save a portion of it. We need to take responsibility and make sure that we are prepared. Money is not evil. I know that movies and other teleseries that we see on Netflix would show that money makes the bad guys eviler. Eviler. More evil. But hey, it's not like that. What makes things wrong is the love for money, when you want more than what is meant. Having money is like having a tool to create more possibilities, more jobs, and to help more people, and to be free. As I grew up, I realized that we all have the same 24 hours, and we can use that to either sleep, be lazy, or continue to create things that would make us be more productive. Here are 5 things you can do to be more responsible and save money. Number 1, determine your monthly income. If you are a fresh grad, then go and find a job. Once you have a job, make sure you can determine how much you earn every month. Try to count only the amount that comes in regularly. Don't add the sporadic income that you get. This will allow you to see a clearer picture of how much you can spend. This will create barriers, and this will allow you to do number 2, which is save money. Now it sounds simple, right? Open an account and save. But honestly, it is more complicated. You need to at least create different kinds of accounts to save for. There's the kind of famous right now, which is emergency funds. This is the fund where you calculate your monthly expenses and multiply it by 6. You only use this when you all of a sudden lose your job or not able to work. Next, retirement funds. Obviously, this is where we are all heading. Retirement. Hopefully, all of us reach this point with a bounty amount of funds. Short-term goals. This is where you try to fund your next vacation or to buy a brand new car or a brand new phone. Health savings account. For me, you can do this by getting an insurance policy. When I was 19 years old, a fresh grad from college, I became a radio DJ. A year after that, I was offered to get an insurance policy. I accepted it because I did not know how to decline the agent. She is my friend. I did not think about that move, but I can say that it was the best, not pinag-isipan decision I ever did. It allowed me to be health protected and allowed me to have an investment at the same time. Number three, money education. Learning never stops, and this one is something that our educational system is missing out on. I think if we add this in our educational system here in the Philippines, most likely mas konti ang adults with no savings or people with lots of utangs. But here we are now. We have to accept that fact. And we have to continue with life and learn how to manage money at a later time. Listen to podcasts like what you are doing right now. Or read books, watch videos that concern financial literacy. Learn how to save and invest. Learn when to dive into the stock market. It is never too late to learn. So don't worry. Start now or maybe after listening to this podcast. Number four, buy smart and try not to borrow money. According to a research from an Amsterdam-based fintech Backbase, 7 out of 10 Filipinos are struggling with debt. Yes, that is a crazy 70%. Parang we are all so happy-go-lucky, but the truth is, we Filipinos are actually struggling with utangs. For this point, I combined the two, utang and buying smart. A relative of mine who is in the US, shout out to my Aunt Kathy Guy Griffin, she would always remind me to treat borrowing money as very humiliating. I know that it is kind of exag to say that, but her point is simple. Don't borrow money. I think our value becomes lesser when we borrow money because we fail to prepare for an emergency budget, and the more it is embarrassing when we do it to pay for personal kaartehan. Next would be buying smart. We seriously need to make use of the percent off or sales events that is going on. It will seriously help us save a lot of cash. Like for example, I would always buy protein powders every month. When I checked online, you can actually purchase 3 of them and save $10 and get lots of freebies as well. I knew about it because I checked on their website. Now I buy smart when it comes to my protein supplements. Whatever you are spending for, make sure that you are always on the lookout for deals and discounts. Number 5, give your tithe and offering. The question will always be, why should I give a portion of my hard-earned money to the church? Well, first of all, it is not like you are giving God money. It is telling God that you trust Him all the more. Sometimes we forget about the Lord when we are earning too much. Tithing allows us to depend on God. And according to Dave Ramsey, tithing isn't for God's benefit. He doesn't need our money. Instead, tithing is meant for our benefit because sacrificing a portion of our income reminds us to rely on God to meet our needs. So, ibig sabihin ba di ako love ni Lord if I don't tithe? Of course not. God loves us and that is by default. Tithing is spiritual and not a financial thing. It allows us to see God's ministries grow. I give 12% to church for my tithe. Biblically, it is only 10%, but I add 2 more percent as a form of offering. Another add-on for the offering is being a support or a sponsor for some non-government organizations. I support 2 NGOs. One of them is CEF or Child Evangelism Foundation, which focuses on sharing the gospel to the children, and also UNICEF, that as we all know, focuses on food and water to children all around the world. Being part of a selfless movement makes me feel good as a person and makes me realize that I am a good manager of the money that God is blessing me with. You don't have to force yourself to donate or support any charity programs if you are still new to managing your money, okay? Once you know you can, then go for it, if your heart is telling you to do so. Guys, here is something that I have learned. There is freedom in boundaries. When you limit yourself from spending and create restraint from all the temptations of buying those things that you can live without, you will see that you have more freedom than most people. You will have freedom from the lust of materialism and you can be financially future-proof. Please don't forget to follow me on the following platforms: Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube, and our Facebook page, Cholo Guy. We want to spread happiness all over the world. So help us do this by clicking like, follow, and subscribe. Bye!